Hello everyone. Today I will be starting with the lecture series of transformers. First of all, let us see the features of single phase transformer. Single phase transformer. First feature is that transformer is a static device which will transfer electrical energy from one circuit to another circuit without change in frequency. That is, it is a static device. Next, transformer is an electromagnetic coupling circuit where input and output circuits are electrically isolated and magnetically coupled. Next feature is there are absence of rotating parts which makes it highly efficient. Next, transformer is mainly used to step up and step down the voltage application. In order to step up and step down the voltage applications. Transformer is a constant power device. It is a constant power device. Also, the resultant flux in the magnetic circuit remains constant from no load to full load. Next is transformer offers 180-degree phase shift between the input and the output. The next feature of the transformer is it is a 4-terminal 2-port network and it can be modeled using ABCD parameters. ABCD parameters, in other words, we say transmission line parameters. Transformer can be modeled in this way. This is the input port, this is the output port. It is a 4-terminal 2-port network and can be modeled using transmission line parameters. Transformer is also used for impedance matching purpose. The next feature of transformer is it is used for impedance matching purpose. Next, it is also used for the measurement of voltage and the currents, that is potential transformer and current transformers. Next, we look at the operating principles of transformer. Operating principles. Transformer will work based on Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. According to this, whenever a coil is placed in a time-varying magnetic field, it will experience the changes in flux linkages. So, an EMF will be induced across the coil. It is known as the statically induced EMF. It is based on the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. And the EMF induced is statically induced EMF. Now, how we produce time-varying magnetic field? In order to produce a time-varying magnetic field, transformer windings will be excited using alternating current source and AC source. In order to minimize the harmonics in the induced voltage, always sinusoidal magnetic flux is recommended. So, sinusoidal flux is recommended, therefore we use this one. Flux is equal to Ni upon reluctance, MMF upon reluctance. Hence, flux is proportional to current. So, we produce AC currents in order to produce AC flux. According to Faraday's law, magnitude of statically induced EMF is given by mod E is equal to d phi by dt volts per turn. If the coil consists of n number of turns in series, then the total EMF of the coil is given as mod E is equal to N d phi by dt volts, where N is the number of turns wounded concentrically. That is, in transformers we use concentrated type of winding. If you see my previous lecture on the basics of AC and DC machine, you will get to know that why we use concentrated winding in transformers and why the distributed windings in the rotating machines. If we use distributed winding, then we have to multiply this mod E by the winding factor. This we will be going to see in the synchronous machine topic. Next, the polarity of the statically induced EMF can be identified using Lenz law. The polarity of this statically induced EMF can be identified using Lenz law. According to Lenz law, the effect must oppose the cause of production. This can be explained using a coil placed in the alternating magnetic field. Let us see this with an example. Suppose I am having a time varying flux this way. This is duration A, B and C. From A to B, we can see that the main flux, you can name it as main flux is magnetizing. Hence, to satisfy the Lenz law, the flux induced in the coil will demagnetize it. This is the main flux through the coil. Hence, the induced flux according to Lenz law will be in this direction. According to this, the current flowing in the coil will be anticlockwise. Flux in the coil will oppose the change in the main flux. The changes in the main flux will be opposed. So, due to this, the current will be induced in the coil. Hence, the current through the coil is induced in anticlockwise direction as per the flux in the coil using right hand thumb rule. In this rule, right hand thumb rule, you place your fingers or you curl your fingers in the direction of current, then your thumb will be pointing according to the flux induced direction. Now, when we see from B to C, from B to C, this is from A to B, main flux is demagnetizing in nature. Hence, if this is the main flux, since it is demagnetizing, hence the flux induced in the coil will be opposing the change in the flux, that is, it will aid its direction. This will be the induced flux in the coil, and according to this, the current induced in the coil will be in the clockwise direction. So, the changes in the main flux has induced EMF in the coil, which brought the current in the coil. Because of this current, the flux is induced in the coil, which will oppose this change in the main flux. So, this is the cause, this is the effect. Effect will always oppose the change in the cause. This is itself the Lenz law. So, I can summarize what I have told, that when an alternating flux, or we say a time varying flux, links a coil, a statically induced EMF will be produced. This EMF will circulate a current. In turn, it will produce an additional flux that I have denoted by phi coil. This is the additional flux. This additional flux will oppose the change in the main flux, which is a cause for its production. Next, we look at about the types of statically induced EMF. There are basically two types of statically induced EMF. Statically induced EMF. Two types. First is self-induced EMF and the second one is mutually induced EMF. The definition of self-induced EMF can be said as it is the EMF induced in the coil due to time-varying magnetic field produced by the same coil current. The name self itself indicates that the time-varying field produced by the same coil current, then the EMF will be induced across the same coil. Next one is the mutually induced EMF. For this, I can say that it is the EMF induced across a coil due to time-varying magnetic field produced by other coil current which is magnetically coupled to it. According to Lenz's law, mutual induced EMF is 180-degree phase away from the supply voltage. Hence, this self and the mutually induced EMF are in phase with each other because according to Lenz's law, self-induced EMF is opposing the supply voltage by 180 degree if the internal impedance drops are neglected. I will show you some of the derivations. See, for self-induced EMF, let us suppose this is a transformer core. Number of turns. I am supplying voltage Vs. Current will be flowing. These are the n number of turns. So here self EMF will be induced. This self EMF will be opposing the supply voltage because supply voltage that will produce current, that will produce the change in the flux, and this will produce the self EMF. Therefore, this is the effect, this is the cause. Hence, effect will always oppose the cause of its production. From phasor diagram, I can say if this is the supply voltage Vs at an angle 0, 180 degree phase shift will be there between the self-induced EMF. Hence we write E self at an angle 180 degree is equal to mod of E self cos 180 degree plus J sin 180 degree, which is written as mod E self minus 1 plus J0. Hence we write E self at an angle 180 degree as minus mod E self. This sign came due to the 180 degree phase shift, this one. Therefore, we write mod E self as n d phi by dt and E self as minus n d phi by dt volts. Guys, this is showing 180 degree phase shift. This is not due to the Lenz's law. Now, as I know that E self is equal to n d phi by dt, we can write this d by dt of n phi. I can write this t n phi di into di by dt. I am multiplying, dividing by di. This is termed as self-inductance, coefficient of self-inductance. Therefore, E self is equal to L self into d phi di by dt. So, E self can be written as L self into di by dt. Now, we got that L self is equal to self-inductance is n d n phi upon di. From this we can write d by di n into flux is mmf upon reluctance. which gives us n square by reluctance di by di, which gets cancelled. Hence we can also write that self-inductance is n square upon reluctance. Remember that self-inductance is proportional to number of turns square. Also we know that flux is equal to mmf upon reluctance. This implies is equal to phi by I. So L self is equal to n square by reluctance, n into n by R is equal to n phi by I Henry. Therefore, another formula of self-inductance is n phi by I Henry. This n into phi is also known as flux linkages. The amount of flux linking through all the turns. From this we can define this coefficient of self-inductance as it is the rate of change in flux linkages of the coil with respect to the change in current of the same coil. It is the rate of change in flux linkages of a coil with respect to change in current of the same coil. Next we look at the mutually induced EMF. Here suppose this is a transformer core. This is the primary. This is the secondary. I have applied the source on the primary, the current flowing. As we saw that this is the self-induced EMF. See, this current will generate some of the flux. This flux will link through these number of turns, N2 number of turns, and hence will produce mutually induced EMF. So, Vs at an angle 0, which help to induce self EMF in the primary at an angle 180 degree, and this self and mutually induced EMF are always in phase with each other. We can write mutually induced EMF as N2 d phi 1 by dt. This is the flux due to the current in the primary winding. In phasor, we can write this as minus N2 d phi 1 by dt. Hence, the mutually and the self-induced EMF are always in phase with each other, and together they oppose this supply voltage. Because supply voltage, we gave this, it produced current in the primary. Because of this change in main flux, that is the primary winding flux, and this caused mutually induced EMF in the secondary winding. Therefore, this is the effect of, this is the cause. Effect will always oppose its cause. Therefore, according to Lenz's law, the mutually induced EMF is 180 degree out of phase with the supply voltage, and therefore the self and the mutually induced EMF together oppose this supply voltage. Now we see that E mutual is equal to N2 d phi 1 by dt, which is d by dt N2 phi 1, which is written as d by di1 N2 phi 1 into di1 by dt. I have multiplied and divided this term di1 di1. Hence, this is the mutually inductance term. E mutual is equal to m times I1 upon dt. This m is equal to d by di1 N2 into phi 1. Also we know that phi 1 is equal to N1 into I1 upon reluctance. Putting this phi1 value in this expression, what I get is m d by di1 n2 into what here I will write n1 I1 upon reluctance. Hence m is equal to n1 n2 upon reluctance di1 upon di1, which gets cancelled. Hence m is equal to n1 n2 upon reluctance. Units of this is also henries. This is termed as coefficient of mutual inductance. We can also derive one more formula for this coefficient of mutual inductance, as since phi1 is equal to n1 I1 upon reluctance, therefore n1 upon R is equal to phi1 upon I1, and also we have n1 n2 upon reluctance. Put this here, m is equal to n1 upon R into n2. From here I wrote this. n1 upon R is equal to phi1 upon I1. Therefore from this we get this. Therefore m is equal to n2 phi1 upon I1. Units is Henry.
Thanks for watching. I hope this helped you. If you like the video, hit the like button, and for more such videos, please subscribe the channel. Thank you.